Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Kalika. If you're new here, thanks for being here. I wanted to chat about how to identify pyramid schemes, what some of the defining qualities are. Nobody goes around saying, hey, join my pyramid scheme. And one of the common rebuttals you get from reps when you say, is this a pyramid scheme? Is, oh, of course not. Pyramid schemes are illegal. And obviously that's not really a good counter argument, because just because something's illegal doesn't mean that it doesn't happen every single day. Drug dealing is illegal, but that happens every single day. So just because something's illegal doesn't mean that somebody's not doing it. And in my opinion, the only difference between pyramid schemes and MLMs is that MLMs haven't been called out for being illegal yet. There really is no difference between the two. Always Marco, a great anti-MLM creator, he likes to say that MLMs are Ponzi schemes with extra steps. And I agree with that 100%. MLMs are Ponzi schemes with extra steps. MLMs are pyramid schemes with products. Product-based pyramid schemes do exist. And that is what MLMs are. MLMs are just legal because of political lobbying that has been taking place for decades, and the right people in the right positions in government that keep these companies on the legal side of things, but in reality, there's really no difference. If the FTC had time to investigate every single company, they'd be able to see they all operate as pyramid schemes. And there are 30 companies that have been shut down. 30 MLM companies have been shut down for being pyramid schemes, and they all have products. Another common rebuttal you get from reps is that it's not a pyramid scheme. You know, we have actual products that get sold to customers, you know, and there's a deliverable there. And they use that as a distinguishing factor as to why it can't be a pyramid scheme, when in reality it can. It's just extra steps to make the deception more disguised. So I wanted to talk about some of the defining elements of pyramid schemes, so that if you encounter one of these companies and you're not sure, is this a pyramid scheme or is this a legit business opportunity? These are some red flags you can look out for. These are elements that you can take as objective facts and just use that to evaluate the company that you are curious about or interested in, or maybe a friend or a family member is involved in, or you get approached by somebody and you're actually interested in the business opportunity, but you don't know if it's going to be a good thing for you in the long run. Okay, so the first one is pay to play. So pay to play simply meaning there is going to be a cost associated with you joining the company, getting started, or being eligible to receive commissions. Now, this can show up in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's an annual registration fee for your business center. Sometimes that is a monthly fee. For example, when I was in my first main travel company, there was like a monthly, I think it was called an RBS system, like a registered business system. So it was like initially $25 down and $7 a month. Or I was on the student plan, but I think the average retail was like $100 down and $25 a month for your RBS system. The company that we got grandfathered kind of into, I think they had an annual fee to be a rep. That can also look like a starter kit. Starter kits are basically products with like the business attached to it. So basically, if you buy this bundle of products, and it's usually a couple $100 worth of product, they'll waive your registration fee. So sometimes that's a founders pack. These new companies like to do founders packs. It's a marketing tactic just to try and appeal to being the first at something. And so they have these big founders packs for people who help them get started and pre-launch, things like that. You generally have to buy product. And a lot of times this logic is defended by, well, hey, if you're gonna sell a product, you gotta try it out, you gotta know what you're selling. You're putting money down right away to be involved. So especially if you are trying to build an income stream for this or doing this as an income opportunity, you're starting out in the red because you've paid for this. You have to have a minimum PV, personal volume requirement filled to continue to qualify for your commissions. So that second company that I was in, Secret, this travel company, World Ventures, basically they merged our downlines with Secret. I think you had to have like 100 PV to be active. which means that you are either buying approximately $100 in volume every single month for yourself, or you have a customer that's buying that. If you don't have somebody purchasing from you, you are buying product to meet that requirement to stay active, to then qualify for your commissions. And I don't even think just that qualified us for commissions. I think we also had to have a second customer or a recruit to be like qualified for commissions. This is the other distinction I wanted to make, because a lot of times these companies will say that they're affiliate marketing, but they try to use different names because MLMs are getting a bad rap. People are talking about this, so they keep changing the name of what they're calling it. Let's not fixate on the name. Let's not worry about what we're calling it. Let's talk about what that looks like. Let's talk about the defining elements of it. So when you come across it, no matter what they're telling you, no matter what they're calling it, you know what it is because of how it operates and what the structure is and where the money flows and things like that. So they like to say that it's affiliate marketing. If it was just affiliate marketing, you would just make an agreement with a company. Oftentimes you don't have to pay to do this. It's not pay to play. With affiliate marketing, it doesn't matter if 10 people buy a $10 product or if one person spends $100. Either way, it doesn't matter. They're not looking for certain people to spend certain amounts of money. There's no compensation plan attached to it. There's no recruiting attached to it. It's simply just a commission for getting a referral sale. Okay, that's enough for rambling on that one. Listen guys, these videos aren't gonna be perfect. I spent a lot of time editing my first one, and not that I'm not gonna edit them, and I do wanna improve and get better every single time that I make a video, but I have a lot of content to get out, and I'm kind of forcing myself to just make content and get it out there. I will edit it, but it's also not gonna be like perfectly polished, because I'm trying to get out of my own head about filming, just kind of be myself on camera, and also talk about all the things that I wanna talk about, because I'm coming up with content topics much faster than I'm filming them. So I really just want to start getting it out there, getting more eyeballs on this information so more people can like come across it before they get prospected. So the next one I want to talk about is endless chain of recruiting. And that's focusing on like the mathematical impossibility that the compensation plan is based off of. They always say like you can make so much money by doing this. You just have to grow this organization. Essentially, you're growing the pyramid below you. In reality, it's statistically impossible for 99 or more % people to make that kind of money. Like if you take the example of 5, like one person recruits 5 people who then recruit 5, who then recruit 5. I believe in 12 or 13 levels, you exceed the world's population. The income becomes real for the person at the top because they've sold the dream to all these other people that aren't gonna reach it. And they're actually paying to be involved, and that's where the money is coming from. If you wanna make it to the top and you wanna stay at the top, you have to recruit a lot of people and you have to continue to recruit a lot of people. The thing is, not everybody has the opportunity to do that because there just aren't that many people out there. In reality, market saturation is a thing. The bigger you build your team, the more you're recruiting your competition. Eventually, they're run out of people that you can recruit. I want to talk about some of the verbiage that the recruiters use to mask this statistical impossibility. They'll say things like, you don't need to recruit a bunch of people, you just need to recruit a few. There's people turning 18 every single day. There's 7 billion people in the world, like what are you gonna do, recruit them all? You just get online, you can meet people anywhere. They'll also say that like, we do this as a group, we do this as a community, you don't have to recruit all these people. You're gonna be introduced to someone who's gonna be introduced to someone, and it just kind of like, it's a domino effect. It just happens on its own. Apple or Google, everybody knows these are like word of mouth household names, like, and how did they become that way? Like people just talking about them, and so things just naturally virally spread. With the age of social media, things going viral again is now a common thing. Now, some things can just go viral because of an algorithm. Most of going viral is pretty much luck. They use that as an example. Like things go viral all the time. Like why couldn't this? And MLM companies do kind of grow virally. They have to because they rely on recruiting. So that's why you see this explosive growth. You see this, we're open in 36 countries because they have to be continuously expanding. Otherwise, the whole system will crumble. Don't let that verbiage confuse you. You want to look at the way you get paid, the comp plan, and how they're explaining it. If they explain it as I can do this and it's these simple steps, and then I just show somebody else how to do it and I show somebody else how to do it, and it can just go on forever. If that's how they're explaining it, that is a red flag. If they're talking about building levels deep in an organization and they're talking about going 100 levels deep, that is a red flag. If they're talking about that their comp plan pays you or you'll make a % off of infinite levels into your organization, that's a red flag, because those are mathematical impossibilities to actually happen. So the fact that they're basing a compensation plan off of it, it's just bait. It's not going to be doable for the vast majority of people, and it's not because they didn't believe or work hard enough. It's simply just mathematically impossible. And the one person who does do it is like the one person at the top of the company that just recruits an insane amount of people. And the only reason, again, that they're able to make the money is because that the rest of that whole line all the way up has paid to be involved. The third one is the recruiting mandate. Companies try to mask this because recruiting just to recruit more people, they know that that's blatantly a pyramid scheme. So what they do is they try to hide it. Where is the money coming from, right? Is the money coming from the sale of products? Or is the money coming from bonuses from hitting a rank? Because you can only rank up by recruiting. You can only rank up by recruiting. So yeah, they'll say, you don't have to recruit, you can just sell products. You don't have to build a team. But guess what? The actual big money, like the dream that people are sold, comes from recruiting. It doesn't come from just selling product. The financial freedom and the time freedom, those dreams, that money only comes from recruiting. But they won't say like, oh, if you recruit somebody, we're going to give you $100, because that's where it's blatantly problematic. But it's like, no, you recruit someone and you get them to spend $100, and then you'll get a commission. Plus that'll count towards helping you rank up. And then once you rank up, you make a percentage of everything that that person sells. So what's going to make you more money? Just selling your shampoo or your lotion, or selling memberships in my case to a travel club? Or actually ranking up. I played it like a numbers game. I didn't really recruit too many people, but I did sell a bunch of memberships. I would almost be disappointed every single time I just sold a membership because I wasn't building a team. And the first rank, you had to have 2 teams of 30 people each. So in order for me to hit that first rank, I would have had to have 60 active memberships and maintained 60 active memberships, like sold 60 people that were all paying $50 a month in order for me to hit that first rank. In order for me to then start making basically a percentage of everything that I'm bringing in to that organization. That's a lot of freaking work to keep 60 people paying into an MLM month after month. My other option was to build a team. Well, if I build a team of people who are also going to go recruit and build teams, and it's much, much easier to hit 30-30 when people are recruiting as opposed to just selling memberships. Because if you're recruiting, those people are all buying memberships to be active. The viral nature of recruiting makes ranking up a lot easier. So they try to mask the recruiting mandate, but you can see it by where the money is coming from. Mentor bonuses, generation bonuses, there's like pools for top leaders, and a percentage goes in that pool and that gets divvied up between everybody at that rank. All of those are for the upper levels, for people that have recruited huge downlines. Another like red flag to watch out for is you'll see people post on social media like, you don't have to recruit to build this business, like this is an MLM. But you want to think about the intention and the motive behind why they're making that post in the first place. They're making that post in the first place to recruit you, because if they weren't trying to recruit you, they wouldn't have to talk about the opportunity. They would just be able to sell you a product. So even though they say that you don't have to recruit, that is where the money is, and that is why they're making a post like that in the first place. So anytime you see somebody say, no recruitment needed, but it's in an ad or a post that is trying to recruit you, that's a red flag. That is deception. They are literally saying that to pique your interest because it pays more to recruit. The fourth one is an extreme money transfer from the bottom to the top of the organization. Essentially, MLM products are not sold to the outside market. It's kind of like a closed system. The majority of the people that are buying the products are the reps themselves in order to stay active and qualify for commissions, or to even get started like in a starter pack for the business, or their friends and family, which I would also argue isn't really an end consumer anyways, because oftentimes Those people are buying to support your business. They're not actually buying because they need the product. I would argue that that isn't really an actual demand in the marketplace for the product either. So you'll find that most of the products are being sold to that closed market, and the people that are paying for them are the reps themselves that are paying to play, to be involved. And that money is going to the commissions at the people at the top of the pyramid. They'll have pools for higher ranks, they'll have incentive trips for higher ranks, things like that. All of that is getting paid for by the losses of the people at the very bottom. This is what us anti-MLMers say when we say only the people at the top make money. That doesn't necessarily just mean the CEOs. It doesn't mean everybody who gets in first. It means everybody who gets in early enough to build a huge chain of downline recruits underneath them. Now, you may be the first person in the company to do this. You could also be the 500th person in the company to do this. Maybe you're an MLM veteran. Maybe you're bringing over a downline. If you can recruit a huge tree of people below you who are all believing that if they just show 5 people who show 5 people who show 5 people, they can make a substantial living and have time and money freedom. So you've sold this dream to enough people that they have now started to perpetuate that, and it's continuing to grow. And that downline level, that is what's fueling the commission checks. Extreme money transfer from those lowest levels to the top of the organization. I mentioned how Marco talks about a Ponzi scheme with extra steps as another way to define an MLM. And I'm going to kind of draw a parallel to that as well, so you can see why it's essentially the same thing. So a Ponzi scheme is where you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You ask for investment money from a few people up front. You say that you can double their investment or whatever promise that you give them about their returns. And then you get new investors' money, but instead of actually having a legitimate investment, you're using the new investors' money to pay off the older investors. And this will just continue. And oftentimes those early investors who actually do get usually an awesome return are like, wow, this actually works. So they'll reinvest with you to make even more money. And it's very similar what happens in an MLM. The people that come in later, their money is going to fuel the commission checks of the people that come in earlier in their organization. The other parallel that you can draw too is, people say, well, I made money in an MLM, so it can't be a scam. Well, there's people that made money in Ponzi schemes too. Usually that first investor in a Ponzi scheme, they do make money. That's why they continue to reinvest, and they usually give a testimonial, which is what ropes in other investors. And they could even potentially get out and have made money. But that doesn't mean that the Ponzi scheme isn't a scam. Very similar to how MLM is. You can make money in an MLM. That doesn't mean that the majority of the people who come in after you aren't being scammed out of their money. You could leave and you could actually have turned a profit. You could have. But that doesn't mean that what you're involved in isn't a predatory business model that's taking advantage of 99% of the people that pay into it. The fifth point, company payout for over 5 levels of management is completely unnecessary. And most sales organizations don't need more than 5 levels of management. So you can manage an entire country with 5 levels. You have your salespeople, like your sales reps, and then you have their sales manager, and then a district manager, and then a regional manager, a national VP of sales or something. But beyond that, you really don't need any more levels of management. The fact that these companies have 12, 17 levels, your payout just gets compounded. That's how these people at the top are earning so much more than people at the bottom, because every time you rank up, you're earning another percentage on top of what you were earning before, of like the entire organization below you. Promotions, they aren't by appointment. They aren't by education. They aren't by sales experience. They are simply by recruiting. If this is really about sales and profit for a company based off of products, you wouldn't need more than 5 levels. All that creating all these extra ranks does is create leverage for the people at the top. An example of just going 5 by 5, say I'm a distributor and I recruit 5 who then recruit 5, and so on and so forth. I just kind of want to show you how quickly the money grows, the commissions grow just by adding more levels to the compensation plan, to show you how unfairly it is stacked to reward the people at the top. So say I recruit 5 people. As an upline, I get $5 off of each of them. I have $25. Now, if they all go and recruit 5 people, I then have 30 in my organization and I'm making $150 a month. If they go and recruit 5 people each, so we're at level 3 now, a total of 155 people in my downline at $5 in commission per rep, be then making $775 a month. Level 4, I have 780 total distributors below me. At $5 in commissions from each of them, I'm making $3,900 a month. Level 5, I have 3,905 total distributors below me. At $5 commission from each of them, suddenly I'm making $19,525 a month. Level 6, I now have 19,530 total distributors. $5 commission from each of them, that's $97,650 a month. What you've done is sold the dream to enough people who have bought into it, enough people who it will never come true for because of this mathematical impossibility. That's why you're making that much money. Ask. People are happy to talk about ranks. Ask how many ranks there are in the company. And if there's more than 5, that's a huge red flag that this is a multi-level marketing organization that's based off of recruiting more than it is any sort of legitimate sales organization. So those are the 5 main points that I wanted to talk about. Pay to play. Do you have to pay to be involved? Do you have to pay to get started, and do you have to continue to buy? Is it based on an endless chain of recruiting? Do they describe how you can make money by assuming that the chain of recruiting and the chain of selling can go on forever? Do they mention things like, oh, you just have to show 5, who get 5, who get 5, who get 5? Is there a recruiting mandate? Do they reward recruiting more than they reward just selling the product? Do they emphasize their training more on recruiting than how to sell the product? Where is the money going? Where are the commission payouts? And how are they distributed between the different levels of the organization? And how many levels of management, how many ranks are there? Are there more than 5? Definitely keep an eye out for language also. Reps will use language like lock arms. They talk about their mentors pouring into them. They talk about ground floor opportunity, make money while you sleep, building 7 income streams. Like first to market, we're the only ones doing this. We have no competition. We're just getting into momentum. Anytime somebody has top earner in their bio, how much they've made, that's weird. Social media posts that use that kind of verbiage, it's meant to get people to reach out to them. Also, when people do show curiosity in comments, they usually do not say directly what the opportunity is or what company they're involved in. They will say, DM me, or they'll say, I will message you, because they want to have a private conversation and keep the curiosity on their post, as opposed to allowing an open forum for an opposing perspective to be posed. And so that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of this content and enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you in my next video.